There's still a few minutes until it turns 7, so I'm on a little early. Let's see. 6:56. But this will, stay up. So make sure everything clicks and works through my Patreon. I think I'm gonna plan to do Patreon exclusively until 7:30. So I need to find like exclusive stuff that I can do for you guys. And then I'm gonna open it and like post it on Facebook, which right now, how many people? I just had dinner, excuse me. So I've been looking at getting a new camera, and everything is telling me that I don't need to worry about it yet. Nothing jumps out to me as like, I need a new camera for blank. I mean, my heart just tells me I'm gonna end up only using it in my room. And when I film, I'll do better to just film on my phone, Because now that I've figured out that cinema exists, cinema style video on my camera, I realized that, I mean, it's all good. I was looking at getting a Sony because Sony has the best, to my knowledge, people say Sony has the best autofocus. That's my expertise. That's what I learned. But yeah, I mean the literally the camera on this is just fine. And once I upgrade and get like a 15, I think the 15 comes with log, the ability to log, which means you can edit I mean, there's just more information. Log means there's way more information. It's almost like raw. Like there's more information in the videos and the stuff that you do. So in post, you can do a lot of stuff. You can do a whole bunch of stuff. Let's see. Hello, testing, testing, testing. Huh. All right, so that seems to be working. Oh, that's interesting. Looks like it's live. It's it's public. Okay, hold up. Edit. Unlisted. Unlisted. Done. Save. All right, so now I don't show up yet, which is what I want. Okay, so 3. It's about to be 7. Who cares, right? Let's get started. Yeah. I am really diving into YouTube this year. So far, I have done these months for my everyday. I've cut out so many pixels for this everyday challenge, right? And that's the big video I'm working on. Is the everyday. I did a drawing every single day for a year. And I'm also working on the polar plunge video, which should be out before February 22nd. And that's more of a vlog style one. It's not necessarily about anything besides that. Besides, hey everybody, I did this polar plunge thing. It's just like another side of me, besides art. It's like a vlog kind of thing, getting the word out about raising money for the Special Olympics, because it's like there's a dissonance. It's like people like, what does that mean, raising money for Special Olympics? It's for the families to send people to go to the Special Olympics, and the families need help. They need financial help. It's difficult to accommodate people in wheelchairs, people with special needs, and that's where the funds go to, is people who are trying to participate in athletic endeavors, the families of those people. I work with adults with disabilities, and I see the need for this cause. So the polar plunge raises the awareness of that. And honestly, I was just looking for a thrill. That's why I did it. I'll tell you. So I'm working on those two big videos. I did drawing every day, and then the polar plunge thing. And I was on the news when I got out of the water. I just like let me start from the beginning. I got there that day, and I was psyched because what I wanted, just for the clout, just for like the visual, I wanted a dramatic foot thick frozen lake. Like I wanted it to be like frozen, like Elsa's castle. Like I wanted ice this thick. And you'll see in the video there was bricks of ice. So these guys had chainsaws and they were cutting a huge hole in the shore of the beach. And also they were raking the sand in the water just to make sure there weren't any sticks. They were pulling out sticks and logs and things that had fallen. Not that there was many because it's been frozen for a long time in this lake, Coquitchuit Lake in Natick. I've driven by it a million bajillion times. And there's houses all around this lake. It's a big lake. And I got what I wanted. The lake was frozen solid. And yeah, so I got closer and closer and I started to meet some people that were going in the main building. There weren't any changing tents, which they said there would be, but there was a area, like a bar and an old veterans post that had a bathroom, but in the basement had a bar. And I saw the water and I just thought, how cold is it going to be? So I just tried to get myself psyched up. I did some jumping jacks and push-ups and just tried to anticipate what's it going to feel like to get shocked by like ice cold water, like ice cold, because the coldest that you can practice with, like in a shower, if you just take a cold shower, it's probably, if it's just sitting in your pipes for a little while, like, I don't know, it can't be freezing, right? But it can be, I would say the coldest is like the coldest I've seen my water is like 50, right? 50's cold. 50's like, whoa, it'll wake you up in the morning. But 30 is in water in degrees, it's that much like, oh man, I heard a statistic about water where it's like, oh yeah, if you're wet, you will lose the heat in your body 4 times faster than you will when you're dry. So that's how you get hypothermic. It's like your body temperature just gets ripped out of you. Water is the ultimate dissolvent. I'm not going to explain what water is to people, but it's really dangerous to do what we did. And I'd been practicing just to anticipate the whole journey that it would take me on. So what happened was it turned 12 o'clock and more people started to come out of the building and out of the bar. And then families started to line up against the water and get photos. And some people went on the ice and there was news all around and just get more commotion, more commotion. So I took it upon myself to I was like, no one's going in. It's 12 o'clock. Are you going in? And I inched closer and closer and closer and closer to the water. I just kept on asking people, are you going in? I'm literally in my underwear and my t-shirt. I'm holding my GoPro and I'm going in. I'm number one. If no one minds, I'm going in. I'm doing it. I'm gonna do it. Are we good? Is there a sounding bell? What am I waiting for? Come on, let's go. And like right before I hit the water, honestly, like I'm right in front. I'm going. They started a whole ceremony. I'm in my socks, mind you, on ice, right? And a t-shirt. And so they started singing the national anthem with this little kid, and they were saying, "Thank you, so and so." And this ceremony went on for like 15 minutes. And by then I was pissed. Like my feet were frozen solid, and I was starting to shiver. And I was like, so, one group of like a company of people went together, all dressed up. They went in their company shirts. They were first in. Then the next wave, like Sunset Pier or like whatever it is, FedEx. If you're in FedEx, 15 people dunked together, come out. I was aware that I was like, like I was starting to freeze, like shiver. And that's like dangerous. You don't want to be shivering for too much. You don't want to shiver to the point where it's like you can't stop. I mean, when you start to shiver, it's a reflex. It's hard to stop. So I was like, I need to get in the water so I can get out of the water because I'm already shivering. I'm not even in the water yet. So I asked the group in front of me, and again, this was like the sunset group. I said, "Hey, can I get in your group? I need to get in there. Like I am so cold. I can't feel my feet and I'm starting to shiver." And and I waited. I was gonna be first, right? So whoop-de-doo. And they said, "Oh yeah, sure, go for it. Come on in." Now, mind you, when I went in up to my waist, right? Nothing shocking necessarily. I was also wearing like long leggings. So the water like seeps in a little slower, but it's not a wetsuit. It looks like a wetsuit. I think most people are probably like that dude's wearing a wetsuit, but it's just black like cloth. Like it's a thermal layer, whatever. But not like wetsuit. It's just like what NBA players wear, right? It's like that long black material. I'm wearing it now. So I went in, and in my head, I wanted like a photo of me splashing the water, like, come on, people, make noise, get excited. Like, so I started doing that. And I'm not gonna sit here and say I tried to stop or something, but like I'm trying to feel like it's all your adrenaline is pumping, right? Your adrenaline is pumping before you're starting to get nervous. Did I make a mistake? No, whatever. And so I'm doing this, right? And I would say three-fourths into going, come on, people, make noise. I'm splashing water up. I realized I was like, I think this is a mistake because I feel like it's dead silent. Maybe my adrenaline was that high, but I was like, I shouldn't splash people. I feel like there's kids. Uh, I watched the footage back because mom and dad surprised me. They ended up coming. I didn't think they would come, and they filmed it, which I would have missed if they weren't there. So thank you guys. But I uh I just remember thinking like, okay, stop splashing, go under. Now, uh and I look, no one got splashed. That's what I was gonna say. No one, like I didn't hit anyone, and everyone was wearing long ass stuff, anyways, coats and stuff. Nobody got wet. But I wouldn't do that again the next time I go. I wouldn't splash just out of like I don't want to ruin somebody's day. I thought it would be a cool photo. Anyways, you know, I told myself that I was gonna submerge for as long as I could. I'm gonna hold my breath, right? I'm gonna dive in to the water and hold my breath as long as I can. And so here's what I remember. Let me just say that. Here's what I remember. I stopped splashing. I dunked in and I said, and I went one, two, and I tried to count. And almost involuntarily, my body came out of the water. It was that cold, guys. Like it was like burning cold. Okay. You'll see the fact I couldn't all the snow that was around just all the snow that's out there nowadays. Like right now in February, it's all ice. Like I tried to break the snow and I couldn't even break the snow. The ground is frozen solid. When I went in the water, I'll get past this talking about cold stuff. I promise, right? I never want to be that cold again. Of course, I'm going to get that cold again February 22nd, but I went under, and then my body went like, get out of there, get out right now. And my heart rate went like like that. And then I got out. I dunked as long as I could until I had to get out, and then I walked out. Now, if I was by myself, my plan was going to be I need to get back to the shore. I need to get a towel and a blanket on me. I need to get dry as fast as I can, right? Just get all the water off of me, right? Scrub it off, get that. And then I need to change. So I need to take my clothes off, really like wring it out. I'm not necessarily too worried about like honestly wring out my underwear as much as I can while keeping it on in front of all these people. Duh. And then I need to keep track of my stuff. So I kept on saying wallet, keys, camera, wallet, keys, camera. That's everything that I had. Everything else was way more obvious, like my shoes, socks, backpack, right? And that was kind of it. Everything was like a blur when I was getting out of the water, everything was kind of a blur. The good news was that there was a lot of things I didn't have to go and get. Like I put things in certain areas, on the outside of the water, like on the outside of the water, obviously. But when I got out, my mom came and she put a blanket around me and she put a towel around me. And I said, okay, that's great. Thank you. I love you. But let's slow down. Let me find this. Let me find that. And next thing you know, I'm trying to tell her, like, I feel like I splashed people. Right? I was like, I feel like an idiot. I'm so sorry if I splash people. She's like, no, don't worry about it. And she was right. And next thing you know, I'm in front of two camera crews because I I'm in front of two huge cameras. I'm on the news for Fox 25 or Channel 5, and I'm on the news for like ABC, like Channel 5, right? News. And I mean, I'm still drenched. I'm covering a towel, but they chose me somehow. They were like, let's talk to this guy. So all I really remember saying was like something along the lines of like, oh, it was fun. It's a good day out. I thought it would be a lot worse, but it's not that bad. And I, work with adults with disabilities. So I have a passion to raise awareness of the Special Olympics, the families need money. I said, I'm paraphrasing, but something like that. And they're like, what brought you out here today? And I was like, oh, the passion for the plunge. It's like the most, it's not even cliche. I didn't know. I was like, I wanted to, seek a thrill. I was bored and wanted to meet friends, I said, and meet friends, meet new people, and, reaffirm, you know, like taking a risk like that. I wanted to reaffirm and give thanks to the things that bring me warmth. Like you're replicating an emergency situation by jumping into a cold lake. And when you survive that, everything that helps you get out of that, it just helps you focus on things, and it helps you recognize the other things that you're not going for in life. It's like where you're like, oh, if I can do that, then I can do this. That's why I did it, but I didn't explain that to them. Honestly, we were looking for it on the news, and I was in the background of some of the shots that they used in the news, but I don't think they used my interview because I actually still think like I was soaking wet, and I was still kind of focused on just like not like just breathing and being aware of my breath and treating it with a level of just focus, right? And I don't think that made for the best like TV interview, so that was kind of funny. I mean, I said, I was like, oh, it's a pretty good day out. Keep in mind, last year it was 60 degrees at this point. It was 60 degrees outside when they did a polar plunge. So all the pictures are just of like a regular lake. But this one's like, I'm sure the pictures look cool wherever they are. So yeah, that's what that is. I did that. I'm going to show you all the footage. I had my GoPro there and I had my camera there. And there's probably other angles posted by different people, but I'm gonna like kind of do like a talking head style vlog, kind of explaining it and narrating it, and then hopefully that will just make people aware of the stuff, and it gives me an opportunity to work on my YouTube credentials and abilities and skills, so that would be good too. Now that I got past that story, let me see. Yes, here's where I am with the everydays. So I've officially done, hold on. So I started in November 1st of 2021. So November, I did all of November, December, then I did January, March, April, May, and June. So 7 months are done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, 8 months are done. Yeah, I'm looking at the power right now. And There's a lot of stuff that I had to go back and find. I had to dig really deep in my Instagram to find the pictures that I, just misplaced and lost. But you know, I'm gonna break down each one of them. I'm gonna look at them in different, circumstances and try to categorize them by level of difficulty or lessons I learned or what was on my mind at that time. And a real standout is for sure Sonic. I love Sonic, and I was drawing Sonic characters. Disney had a show on Disney Plus called Sketch, and Sketchbook, and it was literally how to draw a genie and other famous Disney characters. Um, those are some big events. Gilbert Godfrey died. Ooh, Bill Russell died that year, 2022. My grandfather passed in 2022. Um, so the everyday is gonna feature pretty much everything with the exception of the times that I drew, family and like real commissions. Like I at one point, what I'll say, I can't show it to you, but I had a commission to illustrate something for a family friend, and it was of that person's dog who passed. So I'm not gonna, put that on blast. I'll just mark it as, oh, today I worked on a commission, and yeah, just any other images of family will be left out, but everything else is in there. All the yeah, just all the sketches I did, all the experiments I did, the times I there was a time there was like a week when was drawing cars. I was drawing people doing kickboxing. I was drawing. So here's how I'm cutting up the pixels, right? Like I literally just cut it out of a piece of paper. So that's a kickboxing. This was a mermaid, kind of working like playing around with lighting. This was me drawing from observation a boot because it's just interesting shapes. This was a comic I did of myself. Um, and it's like me present Mike when I had like long hair, and then it's also old me, like what I'll look like when I'm 60 apparently. And that was after I got sick with COVID that summer, and I was just pissed that it had happened. I was really pissed. So that's me kind of like anime style fighting with myself, and those drawings are really cool. But it's a unique look into where I was at the time. Keep in mind, I didn't stop when I was sick. I did this drawing when I was sick with COVID. I had such a fever and such a headache that I think this was all I could make that day. You know, but I didn't stop, and I kind of like it with it for that reason. It's very unique. Like you see little flourishes of like style and stuff. And then this is you know, another sketch. I remember I did this at the pool. This was a car. Uh, what else? Yeah. Um. So yeah, I did all that. We've been going. It says we've been going for 26. Oh, I started early. Okay, I started early. Yeah, and let me talk about the videos that I just dropped on. Let's see. I dropped it on my Facebook, but let me see. So I released 3 videos in a day, and the numbers are pretty solid. It's reassuring. So I lost 1 subscriber, so now I have 19 subscribers, which kind of hurts when you have so few. Like, give me some subscribers, guys. Come on, let's do it. But I dropped 3 videos that were exclusive to Patreon, and now everyone can see them. I did a quick 2-minute summary of what January 2025 was about, which was about a lot of studying how to do YouTube videos. And I made a little YouTube video about it. And preparing this everyday challenge, but also changing my thumbnails and making my page look better, and realizing that that's going to be my next project is YouTube. Like really, I've just been studying so much stuff, so many different styles. Roberto, oh, so that led me to do the next video, which is Roberto Blake reviewed my channel. He is a famous YouTube content creator, vlogger, artist, photographer, videographer, who I've known about for at least 10 years. And he was doing a live on YouTube. And if you did a super chat, which means that you send him $20, then you get entered into a list of people whose YouTube channel he'll check out if you send him the link. So I was the 11th, February 11th. I was the 11th person on that list, and he got to me. Everyone else's was like literally robots. Robots were sending in like, I have a YouTube channel, literally, or people that just like, just make robot accounts or something like that. They don't show their face. I thought that was interesting. Because I was trying to reach out to these people, and I mean, some of them are just like gone. But I did that, and that video is up. Again, it was exclusive to Patreon at first, but now other people could see what Roberto Blake had to say about me. And I took some of his criticism. I changed my bio. The thing in my bio now it says telling the greatest stories of my generation, which is like ambitious and dynamic, and people see it and they're excited. And I'm still trying to define it, but I think it's a worthy bio thing. I think that it's a worthy, like, he had good feedback. That was feedback of his that I admired and took. What else? And then the last video, which is like they go up in length. January's is the shortest, Roberto's is the longest, and then this one's about 16 minutes long. It says, "Can beauty really be found in chaos? Here's my take." And that video is talking about if you want to be more creative, if you're lacking ideas, and what does it take to become an artist, to call yourself an artist, to think like an artist, because that's coming from a lifelong artist, me. And it's just my 2 cents on how I've gotten this far, calling myself an artist, and how you could do the same. I recommended people make thank you cards if they didn't feel creative. Like, it's a good place to start writing. It's a good place to start thinking about, who am I making this for? And it's as good a day as any to thank somebody, whether it's even the most cliche people, mom, dad, your guardians, whoever you want to call them, siblings, family, your neighbor. If you've got no one, you could thank your neighbor. Thank somebody you work with, somebody you walk by, somebody, right? Make a thank you card and do like a cursor. Like I explained the whole thing in the video. And again, I'm doing all this footage through my phone. And this goes back to what I started this with, as I realized like my Nikon here, my Nikon camera, my really nice Nikon camera, it lives in this room. It doesn't leave unless I get commission, which I haven't gotten in at least 3 years. And do I need another camera that does that, but now it just has a flip camera on it? I don't need that. I don't need something else that is on a tripod all the time that just takes up space or sits and collects dust, and I have to make sure I dust it every now and then. I mean, it would be fun to have a new camera, but my phone is doing just fine. Again, like, is it nice to have something where it's all stored? Sure, but iCloud is cool. iCloud's working. The trick is that things can get lost in iCloud, but I just got to make folders and organize it. I'm going to see. you know. Let's see. Excuse me. People are so nasty. They sneeze on their hands. You're supposed to go like this. If you sneeze on your hand, I'm not your friend anymore. It's so freaking gross. Like, are you a barbarian? Literally, I'd rather have you sneeze directly into the sky than sneeze on your hand. Literally, just go achoo like that. You know, if you got nowhere to go, just aim up, and then go like that. Never sneeze in your hand. I'm never touching you again. Anyways, you know, the feedback that Roberto Blake gave to me has me thinking differently. It has me thinking about, it's like, what do you have to offer me? And like me speaking for myself, what do I have to offer to people? And what do people want to hear through my eyes, like through my perspective? I don't know. I mean, I have to balance that with what I want to do. And it's not about collage as a medium anymore. It's more like emphasizing it as a concept, mixing two opposing things and chronicling my time in a journalistic way. Oh, it's like visual journalism on steroids. Um, Taking souvenirs that I've literally kept and using them in creative ways. As I say that, I'm looking down at all the signs that I've made for each month at my extended day job. Like I literally says it. It says like September, October, November, December, January is right here. So that's tons of pieces of paper because each paper represents a different letter. And my plan is at the end of the year, I'm going to give it to my students and the fifth graders, and they can like rip it up and throw it into the air or something. Because otherwise, I don't know what to do with these silly pieces of paper. Last year, didn't um we didn't keep the signs, but now I'm keeping the signs just so we can do that. Yeah, I don't think that's that bad, is to like rip it up and say, "Yay, we made it through the school year." So, for the fifth graders. I'm working on that project, and I have this cool idea coming up where I want to just start using magazines as my sketchbook, straight up. Like, there is something there, like if I do a character inside of this cool scene, or if I just use this with some Sharpie as a way to draw things. I'm just trying to combine ideas. That's it. And this is like so light that it would be easy to carry around and stuff. But I can see it. I can see there's potential there for sure in terms of a style. Yeah. Yeah. And I could chronicle it with my phone. I can tape my phone to the ceiling. I can't do that with a new thingamajig, a new camera. It'll be too, even if it's like lighter than my Nikon, it's gonna be too heavy, you know? Uh Moving on, I do want to get some work done with this stuff. Get some, see if I can get June, July. July is the next month. I need to chronicle for my everyday YouTube thing. And then now that it's 7:30, I'm gonna edit this and put it public. Details unlisted. public. Done. Save. And it says it's still going. So yeah, now I'm going to I'll read to you some other ideas, and I want to hear your feedback because let's see. That's my to-do list. I'm working on scripts. But good advice I've been given for YouTube is to start with the title. What's the title of the thing going to be called? One of them is called I made a drawing every single day for a year. Next one is I made a drawing every single day for a year, part 2, 3, 4. And each one is a different number of, the first 100 I made, the first 200 I made, the first 300 I made, and then from 300 to 365. And then I'm going to make that full thing right there. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different YouTube videos. Part 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then put all those together. That's 4 new YouTube videos right there. Bang. I'm going to France for 3 weeks is the name of one of the videos. Or I'm going to a chateau. Like that's like the headline of the video. The next one says my most vulnerable video. It's just like a title idea. I don't know. It's just an exciting title. It's just an exciting title. It's an idea for a video. This one says I reviewed my own YouTube channel. I reviewed my own art, which is a good idea. Like I'm going to go back and try to break each one of them down more extensively and in a pretty way too. I'm really going to take like good images and good lighting of them. How art became my career, how art became my obsession, how art helped me, what was college like, what was high school like, what was middle school like, right? And then this video is for mom and dad. So all those things I just said, all those little sentences, ideas are my top ideas to start doing YouTube for real. And then I have a bunch of others that are like just the first things that came to my mind for titles, like artists from Massachusetts. Maybe I do a whole series where I interview different artists. Literally one of my title ideas is interesting people in Boston. Writing a book, starting a podcast. No, I've done that. I've had a podcast before. It was okay. How much money I've made on YouTube, Art Party Nation. What was college like? I can because I made it. I made it to the top. Reviewing this camera, reviewing that camera. Art games. I think I might be the most creative person in the world is one of the title ideas. And I wrote this down on just my Apple Notes, uncovering secrets of the creative process, the hidden messages in my collages you never noticed. These are all just ideas from an idea generator. I use Spotter. It's a subscription service, and it helps actually give you good ideas. But I'm on a 60-day free trial right now, and it's better than nothing, but other professionals use it. So how ordinary Boston streets inspired my best collages. What's holding you back from expressing yourself? Watch this. It's not bad. And yeah, going to the doctor's YouTube videos. Why is tea so hot is one of my video ideas. Like word. Yeah. Those are some of my ideas. My hair is getting longer again, finally. Like I like this. It's a length where there's just enough little like details where it's not just cut, but it's like if I lift it, it's cut. Yeah. It's got some character to the top, right? It's got some flair. I like that. Oh, and the other thing that's going to keep me going on this YouTube hustle is each video I really want to, do something better. Like even the ice one, the one I'm doing about the polar plunge, I'm really working on the intro to it to be better. The next video, I'm going to work on the sound and the music. The next video, I'm going to really work on like color grading and understanding color. Next one is eye line. So that means that where the audience looks, where's the focal point of the video in each shot, and how often do I have to look over here? And then boom, next shot is making you look over there. Boom, next shot is making you look. Like, where's your eye line? Where am I directing my audience to look? That's eye line. Lighting, effects, story, outros, vlogs, talking heads, interviews, reactions, analyses, and breakdowns. Those are all things that each video I could work on that to get better at, and that will keep me motivated. And lastly, for this live, I shouldn't say lastly, I don't know when it's going to end. But the other thing that I have written down as something to do to keep me motivated for YouTube and getting stuff figured out is doing, like, I mean, I need to start making this long video about my experience going to the chateau, before I went to the chateau, life after the chateau, life in the chateau, in France, in Orquevaux, France. It's a small little village in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by fields and fields and fields and fields. And it takes fields and fields to get to to the chateau. There's people there right now. They only accept about 400 artists per year. They go in groups of like 30. And they started around 2018 taking artists. The owners of the chateau, it was falling into disrepair, and then they figured out that if they rented out to people for 10 months of the year at least, they could actually start to pay to maintain it or upkeep it or whatever. Very creative way to do that. They sent me the chateau recently sent me an email talking about how I could get a private bath, and I bet that's already been taken for reserve. But that's for, people who really need it. I don't necessarily think that I need a private bath or whatever. There's going to be a lake there that comes straight out of like a glacier. All the water gets hit by it, and it's supposed to be like Arctic cold all year long. So that should help with the heat, because I'm going in July. It's definitely going to be hot. But yeah, that's another big video. And with all this that I'm working on, here's what I just posted on my Instagram. For anyone else doing YouTube videos, how do they, like, what's their workflow look like? How often do they start a thing, then start another, then another? And the first thing that you started, maybe you're like, let's say 40% done, and you start a whole new one at 10%. Then, like, when do you start the fourth thing? And when does this first thing get subtracted? So now you have 3 things you're working on again, and it's not just expanding into like, I'm working on 4 things, 5 things, 6 things. Like the 3 videos I released, I was working on all those at once, and it's hard to quantify how I got them out at all. I guess just once a month I just go and I push it out if it's good. But I mean, I have the space. It's just like the nature of YouTube is intimidating. I've lost footage before. Like the video on the polar plunge, I've already effed up. Like I was talking for like 5 minutes after I jumped into the water, and I was in my car and I was warming back up, and the audio doesn't work, and I was talking about the experience forever, and it doesn't work because my phone, which I was shooting on, was connected to the Bluetooth in my car, I think. So I didn't, it's just me. Right. So it's kind of another reason to get a camera. But if I brought my camera, Like, let's pretend I got a new camera and I brought that camera on its little tripod holder to the cold polar plunge beach in Natick. I'd have to leave it somewhere. I'd have to find it again. I have to hold it like a selfie cam. I have to make sure no one steps on it. I wrote my name on it. Battery is charged. Make sure the battery doesn't run out. My phone's battery is pretty good. Even when I'm filming with it forever, I can just plug it right into anything, anywhere, any charger, any charging port. You know, it's like a business. It's like a whole new business, but you keep reinvesting in yourself and buying things that you think are worthy of content creation and stories. It's like paying yourself to live. Does that make sense? Like YouTube. Yeah, that's what it is. It's like paying yourself to live. Uh it's wacky. It's wacky. It made me more excited to jump into the ocean. Was doing that, and I'm gonna do it again. So it's like, is that a new video or is that still part of this old video? I think it'll be a new video because I just met a friend today, which was great. I met a new friend at LifeWorks, and you know, yeah, I mean, it's all good. Um, but what's my next collage gonna be? My next collage is gonna be at the chateau because then I'll have the space and the time to do it. And I told you my favorite collage is my Miami collage, which is hanging on my wall over there. It's me holding the moon, but made out of all the souvenirs from that trip that I took in 2021. Yeah, and I want that to be featured in there. I mean, that's part of it. Yeah, that's totally part of the story. Is this collage? Because this collage gave me the idea to do this thing, and then my collage style kind of changed. I started to reference AI stuff and reference just different levels of mixed media. Um, but I need to start really planning for all of that. I need to plan on when I'm going to get to France. Uh, am I going to be in Paris for 2 days? I say maybe 2 days. That's fair enough. Uh, so this weekend I need to meet with a travel planner, and we need to figure out our itinerary depending on who comes with me too. That's the other thing, who's coming. But need to figure that out. Stickers. My top paying Patreons, I need to make you guys stickers and figure that out. Um I have this character here that I kind of envision using for stickers. But the question is just what is he doing and what is he saying? You can even see the double M hidden inside his design for my initials. And then here's his other version. This is I like this one a little better. I just think the silhouette is more iconic. Look at that. I like how his crown also looks like his crown kind of looks like a flower, like the horn of his shark fin looks like the center, but then the crown looks like it's like water droplets being like splashing. I like that. And I like how it's gold. I like how his scissors are gold. And he's just a wacky looking character with 4 arms. You're like, whoa, he has 4 arms. Just gives him, it's just interesting. A really interesting silhouette that I worked on with a company, a 3D printing company. So I kind of want him to be featured in there somehow. T-shirts, I want to make t-shirts and stuff. But I'm building a brand. And yesterday I started a new everyday challenge, but it's more just like posting something every day, letting people know that I exist. That's the whole purpose of this YouTube, really, is just letting people know I exist, letting them know I'm talented and I'm passionate about art, about entrepreneurship, about forging my own way forward in a creative way. And I'm on this ride and it's crazy. I really don't know. I don't know where I'm going. I'm just taking one step at a time. I'm getting better at that, getting better at taking things one step at a time. So thank you for tuning in. I'm going to see if I can get people to hop in and ask me questions. If we don't see it, hold on. I'm going to see. Yeah, if I do that, then that might be a good way to end it, is people hop on and ask me questions. I've been talking for just about an hour about what I've done, what's new, what's exciting, what's right ahead of me. And I figured I could take some questions, which is that's a good reason to open this up. So if I hit share, copy, close. So then it will be like, hey guys, I was going exclusive with my patrons who have early access to this. And now I'm available for questioning or anything else. So this monthly live stream of February. Let me just, if somebody said, hey, are you taking commissions right now? What would I say? That's like the number one question as an artist. I would say I would love to continue the conversation. I want to make art. If someone's going to pay me to do it in my style, yeah, let me know. The trick is getting it to you. And could I start I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say yes. I know what I want to do. I want to sell. I mean, the old ones I have, but let's see. All right. I'm going to post and we'll see if anyone hops in. And I'm going to move this, but that's plugged there. I wonder. I'm going to turn this so you can see me working, because this is a webcam. So thanks for those of you, my patrons, my motley crew, let's see. Thank you. Oh, shucks. I closed the tab. Hold up. Collage connoisseurs, the cutting edge, and my motley crew. Thank you guys for tuning in. And yeah, anyone who wants to leave a question or a comment here, I wonder if I can do that. Leave a question or comment here. Exclamation point. Welcome to this. Yeah, so that should be there. Can I pin it? Pin message. And I want to put on music, man. Like, hold up. I can finally put this stuff down. There's my chapstick. I need a chapstick. Let's see. You guys can see what I'm working on. Woke up looking for the broccoli hockey and it won't find me. Yeah, we're gonna work on July as we watch some YouTube videos about how to make YouTube videos. And before you know it, maybe sometime in 6 months, I'll be doing that. Why not? If I get good at it. Oh, I was thinking about getting a skateboard recently so I could shoot dolly style footage on my camera. This artist named Gox, he's the coolest YouTuber. He's so cinematic. He's going to be Steven Spielberg one day. He's got a vision and he does all these cool techniques, but he's so free. He's so free that it's like, I mean, who am I to say I'm gonna get to his level? It's ridiculous, but I'm aspiring. I love Gox. I love his style. It's so cool. Yeah, very inspiring stuff. All right, let's see. Woke up looking for the broccoli. I love that one. Keeps on getting stuck. Yes, there we go. Now it's working. I just flip right to my watch later tab on YouTube. I also just saw something that said that more people watch YouTube in the United States than they watch actual television, which I bet it's been like that for the last 5 years. Since 2020, I bet it's been like that. I tracked my habits for 300 days and it changed my life. Peter McKinnon?
It's kind of like a superpower. Science backs it up too. People who track their progress are 42% more likely to smash their goals. Just putting pen to paper can boost productivity by 33%. And get this, journaling actually improves memory by up to 50%. If you're tracking habits, whether it's hitting the gym, eating better, or just drinking.
Yeah, we're going to go to watch later. Library, watch later. Oh, it's you must go. I was watching videos on how that guy filmed, but I'm gonna watch this Gox one. This one's so cool. GAWX. Great brand.
You're claiming to be inexplicable. You read through the paperwork.
I should have read through it. Every time I died, they just turning me out again.
They keep on swiping right again.
I give to that guy. 17, rated R. When you're the official vehicles of winter, you can embrace everything the cold has to offer. Leave fresh tracks with the safe and secure.
My heart speaks my next girl.
Oh, okay. So let's just think about the movement in that last little part. How much shots is there? One, either movement in it, or the camera's actually moving?
Well, 2.5. Since one drawing just needs some
Leaves.
color.
Following that, boom.
That's the other thing. Gox has help from his family. I know because I've studied.
So, needed some color. So today,
Silhouette. If you want anything to have the silhouette, you place a light behind the person or object or item, whatever you want to shoot. And what he did here is, as he was coming into it and then talking about it, he has another light on the front side as a key light, and as it's coming in, he's like turning it on.
sorry, needed some color.
Cool.
24 hours is a pretty long time.
It's from
Before it
Argentina.
starts, let me grab.
Framing of that, perfect. This could feel and look different if these things weren't in the frame, right? But you always want to make sure you kind of either fill out the frame or you have some depth to the frame.
To draw. But luckily,
I'm gonna get a lot done. I'm gonna keep going live. I decided.
Match cut right there.
Let's make it worth it.
So good.
See, a year ago I went to the countryside and spent 5 days staying in a cabin in the middle of the woods.
In the middle of the woods.
Memory about this trip, but I think it went a little bit like this.
I think it went a little
Was
like this.
is that a lot of the shots in his room are very, very tight. And then as soon as he's outside of it, look how wide and how open a lot of these shots are. They're just so wide. And obviously it's because yeah, you're in a room, but the shots feel completely different. Like inside the room, it's extreme close-ups of fruit and him drawing and writing and eyes and his glasses are the keyboard. And then you come out here and obviously you can't get a super wide shot of the room.
Speaking of which,
You
let's
can
shoot
still
some
get a shot where
content.
it does feel extremely open. I think the only shots that he uses are those fisheye shots. But even still, that fisheye is so wide when he's placed in front, it actually feels like he's really close to the camera. So there's still a different feeling depending on the different lenses you use and the focal lengths. And that's why it's important. The more that you start to understand that and like get this idea and feeling, you can actually really use that to your advantage when you are shooting.
So now it's time to add some color.
That's an extreme close up, baby.
Him saying it's time to add some color, then having that color shift.
To add some color.
Cooler.
But let's not get overconfident because this is a really detailed drawing. My brothers, let's just jump right.
Color shift right there as well. We saw it in the last video where he's putting on the sweater, and then it goes from this looks more like what is white balance to that blue tint, and here as well.
Really detailed
It's
drawing.
yellow, and
My
then
brothers, let's just jump right into
into this color.
So let's start working on the last page.
I tell you, I want to get better at doing lives.
We didn't finish the last page.
What it looks
Even
like,
if I worked all day.
you took this shot, superimpose it on this neck. Like this,
All right, so I need to go
and it almost
into
looks like you can see,
my.
I don't know if
Okay,
anybody's watching,
cut.
but
This is going to be featured in the video because this is quality. I like this lighting and I like my style. Okay, so
After that, I went to sleep and I didn't finish the last page of my sketchbook.
So before, when I was talking about,
I went to sleep and I did not finish the
we
last
saw
page
in
of my
these
sketchbook.
videos where creator's block, or he doesn't know what to draw, or is he gonna finish on time? Can he get some designs done? And I think when you are writing the script or writing the ideas down, the thing that works well is conflict and problems. So as a creator, if you're just going about your day, it's cool. But the thing that really, really stands out to me from him is he's writing these things in it because it takes you on this like emotional roller coaster, like what all these stories do. The second thing that really, really actually stood out to me, the more I thought about it, was what I feel like makes it so creative is he makes his room so interesting. And it's but he makes it look amazing. And the way he does that is the variety of shots. You guys saw in his room alone, you see, the couch, the desk from underneath, above, just like from everywhere, different angles. When he does the tight shots, he uses a shallow depth of field, but also uses that locked-on stabilization, and obviously the use of moving time lapses. And the reason why I think this is such a cool thing to see is because there's a lot of people, especially people I know, who are like, I don't have much space to shoot. It's like not interesting. I just have whatever, a small room or a small office. Just doesn't look good. I think because that's all he has to shoot in, he made it look interesting. He took the time to really figure out, like, okay, what's gonna look cool? Obviously, yeah, it's cool. He has the skateboards and his drawings and stuff up, but there's just so much other things about him shooting in the room in a small space that I felt like birthed the ideas of how to shoot. Hey, what's gonna make this look cool? I could just eat fruit, or I could just sketch this. No, let's make this a moving time lapse. So let's get super tight. Let's just cut it and like get so many different angles where people aren't bored in this small room. And I think that's what really sets him apart. And I think that's what a lot of people and a lot of creators like you guys could take is like, if you guys feel like, man, I have nothing to shoot, or is feeling completely bored of the space, it's like, maybe it's not the space. Maybe it's just how you're actually shooting it. I'll see you guys on the next one. Take it easy. Peace.
Oh, he ended that abruptly. My guy.
There's nothing better than a nostalgic movie night. For me, streaming movies like The Princess Diaries, Disney, and Pixar's Finding
Good
Dory
for you.
and Monsters Universe.
But you do that. If you want to travel the world without a single dollar, it's actually really easy. You just need something called
Trust fund.
That's a joke. This is for all the people like your boy here, who finished high school or college or really wherever you are in life.
You just wanted to go travel the world.
But you had no money. I've been there and it was hard and it took a lot of trial and error. But I kind of figured it out and I want to show you the way. So why am I at a canoe right now? Why aren't you at a canoe right now? Why aren't you at a canoe right now? Now you just look silly, don't you? Just laying in bed doing whatever you're doing. Get your ass in a canoe. Unless you are in a canoe right now. In which case, hell yeah. Good for you. But yeah, let's get on with it. So I've traveled in just about every way you can imagine. Like truly every level of comfort, from the sketchiest place you've ever seen to the more luxurious fancy places. I've slept on airport floors, in freezing cold vans, tents in the desert, steamy cars. I once booked a room in a brothel in Belize. That was an accident. It was actually terrifying. Still alive though. But then I've stayed in 5-star hotels and resorts and mansions. I've pretty much experienced it all. And along the way, I've learned some pretty cool ways to stretch your money and spend as little as possible. I think it's this big misconception that travel has to be this crazy expensive thing. I mean, it can be, but it doesn't have to be. My friends with full-time jobs constantly tell me that they wish they could afford to travel as much as I do. I'm like, dude, I definitely make way less money than you. You might not have the time, but you definitely have the money to afford it. But so many people think the only way to travel is to spend hundreds, even thousands a day on hotels and food and entertainment. And if you travel like that, then yeah, maybe you'll only get a week or two a year. But that's not at all what I do. A lot of times I'll travel for a full month, do what I want, eat what I want, like not even try to budget, and I'll spend less than $1,000. But if I really wanted to budget, I could do it for free. So as I said, let me show you the way. So first I want to lay the groundwork. Show you some things that aren't $0 but are super helpful in that. They just help to keep travel cheap, and I use them pretty much anytime I go anywhere. So call me a dumb American or whatever, but 18 years old, I did not know what a hostel was. And to this day, when I tell my friends about hostels, I still don't think they understand what I'm talking about. They picture some dirty basement, hole in the wall, couple dirty beds, rats running around. And that has not been my experience at all. I mean, yeah, sometimes they can be pretty run down and not amazing. But I've stayed in some awesome ones with amazing views and fancy pools, complimentary breakfasts, bar crawls, free club entrance, you name it. And depending on where you are in the world, they can be as cheap as $5 an hour. And the best part is you meet so many cool people, all traveling, like-minded. It's just a good vibe. I use the app Hostel World to book all my hostels. Just download the app. It's pretty easy. Flights are so expensive. It's just a fact of life. I mean, you're soaring through the air in a multi-$100-million vehicle. It's going to be expensive. But I do know how to make it a little bit cheaper. Let me tell you a story. So 2 months ago, I had to get a split question. It's summer, my friend owns a boat party there, and I was just at home bored in the U.S. doing nothing. To fly there from Boston, which is the closest airport to me, was $800. One way. Absolutely not. To fly from New York was $600, so better, but still so expensive. Instead, I booked the cheapest flight to Europe in general, which was $200 to Amsterdam. I spent a full day and night there, spent $50 total on a hostel and food, and then I flew to Split the next day on a separate flight for $80. So I saved a couple $100 and I got a free trip to Amsterdam. Can't complain about that. You just gotta fly from a big airport near you to a big airport near your destination, and then book the entire second leg separately. And look on Google Flights or Student Universe because that's always what the cheapest is. It's the moment you've all been waiting for. How do you finesse the system and see the world for $0? I can think of 20 different ways I've traveled for free, and it's a lot to take in. It would be pretty confusing if I just threw them all out there. So instead, I'm gonna make it nice and easy for you and tell you exactly what I would do in order to travel for free. And I'll put links to everything in the description so it's that much easier to find it. And nothing in this is sponsored. These are all just companies that I use a lot. You're gonna need to sign up for one of these bad things. Now, for anyone who has somehow been living under a rock for the past 80 years, this is a credit card. And the cool thing about credit cards is they have some crazy sign-up bonuses. This one right here is insane, $1,000 worth of points to spend on whatever you want. It is nuts. The catch is that you do have to spend $4,000 in the first 3 months of having it, which I will admit is a pretty good chunk of change. Now, if you're already spending $1,300 a month, get the card, put it on that, you're fine. But if you don't, which I'm sure many of you don't, you have two options. Either A, sign up for one where you have to spend way less to get the bonus. Some might even give it to you for free just for signing up. Or B, tell all your friends and family to put their charges on your card and then Venmo you. It costs them nothing extra. It costs you nothing at all. And then you get $1,000 for free. Now, the entire point of this is to spend $0 to travel. So do not go and buy a bunch of stuff you wouldn't normally buy just to get the bonus. It's not worth it. Now you're going to use that $1,000 to book a flight to wherever your heart desires. And now you're already traveling for free. It's as easy as that. You need a place to stay once you get there, and you do need to eat. and you gotta make it last. Here's what you're gonna do.
I have dealt with mental and emotional struggles for a very long time. I was also dealing with the fear of embracing negative emotion, fear of failure, fear of
Now, work exchange is like a job, except you only work for a couple hours a day, and it's usually doing something at least somewhat interesting. And then instead of getting paid, you get a free place to stay and free meals. And you don't need like any special skill to do this. You just show up and help with whatever your host needs. I feel like a lot of times it's some sort of farming or cleaning a hostel, which might be boring, but it's a pretty chill job. I actually really want to try a farming one. I think it'd be such a cool way to like really experience the place and learn about it. But yeah, there's some very unique opportunities out there. That's actually how I got linked up with the Croatian boat party I talked about earlier. They had a posting on worldpackers.com to go to Croatia, stay there for free in exchange for being a party promoter. I've seen a bunch of other postings where you can like ride horses on the beach all day, or bartend at a tiki bar, work at a surf camp, live on a sailboat. You name it, they probably have something like it. Now you're on your
14 was
first
cool.
exchange. You're about to land at the airport, and unless you want to sleep on the airport floor, which I do not recommend, you're going to need to find a way to get wherever you're staying. And you need to do it for free. Well, you have three options. And the first and best is this thing called BlaBlaCar. It's basically like an organized hitchhiking. You post where you are, where you want to go, or you find people who are posting where they're going, and then you just hop in their car and tag along. The second option is good old-fashioned hitchhiking. Stick out your thumb and hope you get close to where you want to go. Now, option number 3 is to hop on public transportation and pray they don't check tickets. It's really irresponsible, and I would never recommend it. Like, I personally would never do it myself. Really, bad idea. So now pretty much all your travel is covered. You're staying for free at your work exchange, you're eating for free too. I mean, you pretty much did it. And now you want to keep it going. You know, do more cool stuff, see more sites. It's pretty easy from there. So you know how to get around for free. You probably have some of those credit card points left over. And you can always find another work exchange. And when you're between jobs, you just don't feel like working. One of the coolest things to do, cowboy camping, baby. You gotta find a nice spot on a mountain or a beach or somewhere secluded. Use your backpack as a pillow, and you get a great night's sleep under the stars. If you do have a tent with you, I would definitely recommend that more, but sometimes you gotta make do. Now say you want to be a little more comfortable. You can go on couchsurfing.com or just find a couchsurfing Facebook group. You find a host and then you sleep on their couch for free. Maybe you think there is a solid chance to get murdered if you do either of those. I mean, probably not, but you never know. Go on trustedhousesitters.com or any house sitting website. Find a host, maybe pet sit their dog, and you get the whole house to yourself for free. Now, eating for free is a bit harder when you're not doing the work exchange. I still have not figured that one out. But I did recently hear about this app called Too Good To Go, where restaurants and grocery stores get rid of their like one-day expired food for super cheap. You could probably get enough food to eat for a whole day for just a couple bucks. Now, I personally have used most of these methods. I have some friends who have used all of them. And I still use them from time to time when I'm off backpacking on my own. But the way I normally travel for free doesn't actually use any of these. It's all thanks to this. I guess it just looks like I'm pointing at you. I'm pointing my camera. I learned how to use this camera right here to make cool videos that a lot of people on social media liked. And eventually some pretty successful companies started liking them. And they started hiring me to make videos for them. I mean, at first it was small stuff, like they'd send me a pair of shoes or a t-shirt or whatever, and I'd just shoot it myself at home. But it got to the point where some of those companies wanted to fly me places to work with them. And now today, like, most of my jobs require me to get on the plane. Whether I'm working for a tour company or a safari resort or whatever. I mean, they obviously pay me for my videos, my work, but they also pay for my accommodation and my meals and all my activities. It's kind of like half vacation, half work. And if you want to sustainably travel for free, like for the long term, and actually make it last, this is my best recommendation. For anyone who knows any skill at all, photography, web design, media production, DJing, party promoting, like really anything. If you can find a way to do it as a freelancer, then you can probably do it anywhere. And you can probably do it on the move full time. Even if you know a company's reaching out to pay you and fly you around the world, you really don't need that. You can still reach out to businesses in whatever location you're trying to go to and offer you work for money or free housing or free stuff or really whatever. And just find a way to keep your travels going. You know, get creative, do whatever you can. And that's really the main message of this video. There's no one right way to travel. There's probably a million different ways you can do it for really cheap or even free. These are just the ways that I've kind of figured out over the past 2 years of my life. And if you know of any ways that I didn't mention, help everyone out. Drop them in the comments, especially how to get free food. But I would always love to know more ways people made it work. But yeah, it's really just figuring it out by any means necessary. And best case scenario, you figure it out. And worst case scenario, it'll no doubt get you into some wild situations. It'll make for a way better story than just telling your friends, like, yeah, I stayed at a resort, and it was nice. That is boring as hell. Nobody gives a fuck about your bottomless staffers. But over time, you'll learn about what you love and what you really don't love, and you'll see the world, and it'll be a jolly grand old time.
If you have any questions about any of this, drop in the comments, and I promise I'll answer every single one. And if you want to see any more videos about traveling or photography or accidentally booking a room in a Belizean brothel, give that Josh Jones subscribe. And while I do think it is fun to be somewhat stupid while you travel, please be smart about all this. Like, don't go put in people's charges on your credit card if you don't trust them to pay you back. And I feel like it's insanely obvious, but I am not a financial advisor. So maybe do some research before you listen to what I say. And definitely don't stay in places or situations where you feel like you're actually in danger. I've been there, and it is not fun. Please be at least kind of smart. But I do hope you actually get to use some of these tips. And who knows, maybe I'll see you out there in the world in some back alley hostel or cowboy camp on a secluded beach. But for real, if you do by some chance see me, like, say hi. I would think it's so cool if you'll recognize me from my videos. It's only happened like 4 times, but they were sick, all right? So good luck out there, fellas. Stay safe. I'll see you next time.
Oh, God, he's sneezing like crazy.
Hey there. No need to adjust your TV.
Crazy.
Or more likely your phone. You're watching a recycled commercial. See, at Mint Mobile, we're always looking for innovative ways to save our money so we can save you money. So instead of paying for a new commercial, we're reusing this one. And that means we can afford to keep offering you premium wireless for just $15 a month.
Jeez.
We only made one change. You probably didn't even notice.
Ordinary antiperspirants can't fight sweat better than Secret Clinical. So go crush it without sweating it.
3 minutes. This is it.
Okay. This has been good. You've seen me do some work. You've seen how I do it. I'm going into my archive on Instagram where all of my everydays are, and post by post, I'm reading the little date for when I posted it, and then I'm writing it on the little pixel, which is all splayed out in front of me. And then if there's something I can't find on the archive, I go onto my iPhoto and I try to find it inside of that year, because I still have all the photos from that year, and I print it out. And these are all the miscellaneous ones that were missing, right? There's tons of those. You can even see like one of my best ones, my avatar one I did. And slowly but surely, I am putting together that year. Again, with the exception of drawings I made for commissions or of family and friends. So it's going to be really intricate. I got a couple more to go. And then once I have them all printed out, then I'm going to display them in different ways. So one of the ways is I'm going to display them in order for the entire year. And I'm going to do it on top of like one of these collages. And then I'm gonna, do the first 100, 100, 200, 300. It's gonna be like a time-lapse video like that. And then I'll do a thing where it's like, these are my favorite ones. These are the ones that are about Sonic. These are the ones that still live in my portfolio. Like I made art that is in my portfolio now. But yep, stay tuned for that. I'm gonna do some Polar Plunge content later too. Just like work on it on my thing, and that's what's up. That's what's keeping me content and creative on this February 11th. 3 new YouTube videos are out, and a bunch more are on their way. I'm working on them right now, and I probably have another 2 hours of working on this before it hits 10 o'clock. So thank you for tuning in, guys. Keep on rocking in the free world, and rip in peace. Jeez. End.